Welcome to Clara's News Channel. So glad you decided to stop by and see what I am putting up for debate today. Well, I think I found a really good article about the Supreme Court. I, it's a trying time for us. It really is. We have a rogue Supreme Court. So we're going to talk about that. But before we get into it, please remember to, if you haven't subscribed, if you come by and you like this channel, you like the content of this channel, please subscribe. I mean, we are a struggling small channel trying to get off the ground. I really understand why people post a few videos and stop because the algorithm is heartless to very small channels. They do not promote you at all. So if you just happen to come across my channel, I really would appreciate if you would give me a subscribe and a thumbs up and hit the notification bell because I am going to try to upload every day on this channel. So please do that. All right, let's get into the article and a discussion that's up for debate. Like I said, it's about the Supreme Court. I am looking for the big decision to come down tomorrow, Friday, because I don't think they have too many more days before this session ends. Uh, they saving the one about Trump to the end, about the immunity. Why is it so hard? Why is it so hard? We all know that nobody is supposed to be above the law. So, hmm. But this article I found in on Yahoo News, and it says the Supreme Court was never meant to be kings and queens, and pretty much that is it. You got a life term. You don't have anybody to answer to. Look at Alito. I mean, it's just. Let's read on. With the leak Idaho emergency abortion ruling yesterday, it appears the conservatives on the Supreme Court are trying to do the same thing they did with the what is that, methaprone ruling? That's the abortion pill ruling. Move the case to a non-election year to avoid hurting GOP candidates. And that's exactly what it's about. Since it only takes 4 justices to grant uh, certiorari, help me in the comments. I don't know what that is. It's CERTIORARI. And like I was saying, I am not a lawyer. I don't have a degree in political science. I am just a regular person who is a staunch Democrat who is um, up on a lot of the policies and a lot of the political goings on. And but I do not profess to be a expert. That's why at the end of every video I say correct me in the comments. Help, if you have an argument, present it in the comments and I will, we'll debate about it because I do not profess to know it all. Okay, I don't know what that word is and never have heard that word and do not know how to pronounce it. So, and admit to the court to hearing decision, it is obvious that the most fanatical anti-abortion zealots on the court who wants to ban Mr. Precitone and shut down emergency abortion in Idaho opens the court doors for these cases to be heard next year. However, once the cases was argued, the more radical the rational colleagues convinced them that such a decision this year could doom Donald Trump to his chance in the election. So they punted and shot the cases down based on standing. In other words, not they decided not to decide. Ain't that low down? This court, this Roberts court. If the Democrats get the House and the Senate and the presidency, something has to be done with this court. Adjusted, if the shoe was on the other foot, Democrats are always apprehensive about setting new precedents because we feel that the Republican will take it to the nth degree. And but is that a reason not to do what's right? We need to impeach. We need to impeach a Supreme Court Justice, Clarence Thomas. We need to censure Alito. He never should have. And they all got up there and lied. Really, everybody that lied should have. Something just should be done. I just don't know what we're going to do with it. I just don't. However, once the cases are argued, there are more rational. Oh, I read that. So they just pick up the cases the next year with a different plaintiff, and then they outlaw abortion and abortion drugs nationwide. And that's exactly what's going to happen. Which raised the question, how did the court get so much power that it can overrule both Congress and the president, ignore efforts to hold justices accountable when they are nakedly corrupt, and overturn laws like our bribery statutes, who put them in charge of America? The simple answer is, as I lay it out in detail, hidden history of the Supreme Court and the betrayal of America is that the justices gave that power to themselves. Not only is such power for the court is not found anywhere in the Constitution, but Article 3, Section 2 explicitly put the Supreme Court under the thumb of the Congress, not the other way around. The founders and the framers were very clear about this. Even though the notorious liar Sam Alito wasn't, when he recently wrote in a Wall Street Journal, no provisions in the Constitution give Congress the authority to regulate the Supreme Court, period. In 1788, when James Madison and Alexander Hamilton published a long series of articles promoting to the American people the idea that they should ratify the Constitution. Today we call these Federalist Papers. Hamilton took on the job of selling Article 3, which authorized Congress to create a court system. It includes in Section 3 the mandate that Congress set up the Supreme Court by defining how many justices it would have, where it would meet, when the budget would be, what the budget would be, and what it could and could not rule on. Hamilton took on the job of selling Article 3, which authorized Congress to create. Oh, I said that. In the sales pitch, Hamilton on May 28, 1788, wrote in the Federalist 78 that the court, including the Supreme Court, was the weakest of the three branches created by the Constitution. After all, at the time it wasn't an invasion. envision that they would even have the power to strike down laws or passed by Congress. The judiciary is beyond comparison. The beyond comparison, the weakest of the three departments of power, he wrote, adding that the same sentence that is, it can never attack with success either of the two other branches. Something got to be done by the Supreme Court. And if we take Congress, we need to do something about it. Alito think he is the quasi president of the United States, and he gets to dictate what the people of the United States do with their bodies and everything. Something got to be done. He said if it wasn't clear enough, a month later, in June 1788, Hamilton published the Federalist 81, again arguing that voters didn't need to worry that an unelected Supreme Court could make or strike down laws or impose its notion of morality on the rest of us. And that's exactly what they're doing. That's exactly what they're doing. But the next year, the Constitution was ratified. The country came into being, and the Supreme Court itself got to work. Its fourth and one of its longest serving justices from 1801 to 1835 was John Marshall, a high Federalist, what today we would call a radical conservative. He was also Jefferson's second cousin and a bitter political enemy. Thus, in 1803, the case of Marbury and Madison, Marshall and his three colleagues on the Supreme Court took it upon themselves, a power not given them by the Constitution, and the ability to strike down or modify laws passed by Congress and signed by the president. It's called judicial review. Jefferson was president that year and he flipped out. He blatantly expressed his concern to his old friend Justice Spencer Rowan, a son in law of Patrick Henry and the justice of the Virginia Supreme Court. If this opinion be sound, Jefferson wrote, then indeed it is our Constitution. It indeed is our Constitution a complete, and what he was saying, I guess he said it in not Greek, but he said in it's philo DC, meaning a suicide pact, for intending to establish three departments, coordinate and independent, and they might check and balance one another. It has given, according to this opinion, to one of them alone a right to subscribe rules for the government of the others, and to then one too, which is unelected by and independent of the nation. Something got to be done about that court, and that's just straight up. They are kings and queens. Tell me what y'all think about this article. Like I said, it's in Yahoo News, and the title of it is "The Supreme Court was never meant to be kings and queens." To me, that's one of and the way that they are going about just dismantling all our rights, hard fought for rights of women, of minorities, of you know, soon they'll dismantle children's ability. You know what I'm saying? uh Children, they'll have children working. I hear they have them up in Idaho. The Idaho governor has said that the children can work, so those immigrant little kids can work. They said they be having kids in there that's like 14, 15 years old working in these plants, like chicken plants. It's horrible. Like I said, I don't know everything. If you feel different than in this article, if you have a better argument, write it out in the comments. If we get some good comments, then I'll read them and we'll discuss even more. I'll be glad when I can go live and we can talk about things in real time. All right. See you later. Bye.